Good morning, traders of the internet, and welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus Empire State Manufacturing. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade carefully. All right, now I don't know about you all, but I had a lot of fun trading Adobe yesterday. That was challenging and it was exciting, and a couple of people made money in an insanely volatile market, and it was pretty cool. So it was a great way to end the day. So I want to say hello to everybody that's watching us on our free stream of the week. Let me get the floating head down to a manageable size. I don't know where I'm going to put the head today. So we're looking at a report that has no DMM. We also have a little bit of trade balance taking place with Empire State Manufacturing. What you have today is a coin toss, okay? This is a setup that has no setup because it sometimes trades by itself, but more often than not, it trades with other news. Anecdotally, I have seen a reasonable amount of opportunities though, where it's not usually a blow up your account kind of trade, meaning, if it doesn't work, you'll lose what you would expect to lose, not extra money in a volatile trade. But I would rate this particular news trading event as a coin toss. It's 50-50. I can't tell you that there's a great opportunity for profit here, just like I can't tell you there's a great opportunity for no profit. It's an event that the market looks at because it's Fed area reporting. In other words, the New York area, the Philly Fed, Richmond manufacturing, all of those reports have a certain impact. For instance, Richmond has no impact and it always gets released early, where Philly Fed probably had the most impact over the years. But I would say that this New York Fed report, it's not bad in terms of the market looks at it, and it could move the gold market, it could move the bond market, it could move the ES, but there's no way to know, very honestly, how to trade it, how much it's going to move. We can go on some of our previous data. This was Empire State in January. All right. In January, if we look at the news, it was trading all by itself. Today, we are trading with trade balance. Trade balance it has some meaning, the markets look at that. So it could affect this particular report. Now, in this video, there's a bunch of other videos about this particular event, okay? Now, back in January, we were also trading Canada Core CPI. So in December, Empire State, we were looking at GC and ZN. And in December, pretty mediocre move, okay? Pretty mediocre in December. 2 weeks before Christmas, that's a tradable time of day, all right? Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, how about hitting that like button? Hit that like button. Not a very good move going on here. Let's see what happened here. Let's check this move out. December, you got bonds, you got gold on the right with a trap. we were trying to do anything on this report. We've tried different instruments. Not a very good recording there of December. Let's see, October, Empire State. See what kind of move. Sometimes these videos in a video are not as good as watching the individual ones. So let me just go directly to January because that's what this video was for. It'll be better. You could see there was quite a bit of gold volatility before the trade in January. I guess Duncan should give me a bonus. January had a great move. It had a very solid move in January. All right. One nice thing about these videos is I can look at our setup, and we had a bracket of 10, a target of 8, a target of 15, and a stop of 12. But that means you're risking a couple of $100, $240. Okay. $240. Now, October, it does look like it released early. January was a good move. December, let's go to the December video. Let's go to the mats. December, we were looking at another good move, but was it a whipsaw? Let's look at that one more time. Looking at gold. As a trap trade, it would not have worked. I don't see this as a trap trade at all. Anyway, we were just doing some testing. December looked like it had a pretty solid move. And then I do not have October, I don't believe. September, though, exactly like today, traded with trade balance. And definitely hits the first target with gold. NQ, we were trying also. Looks like it hit two targets on the NQ. Many different instruments move at this time of day. That's the reality that we're dealing with. Many instruments move. My honest choice is gold on this particular report. Let me see if I have October. That's the one video I don't think I had for whatever reason. Empire. Ah, life is good. Here's October. Looking at NQ and gold. Gold on the right. Now, I don't think also that this often trades on a Friday. I think Friday is not a very normal day for this report. You could see it was a very minimal response on gold. In fact, we canceled it. So there's been some good responses, There's been some mediocre responses. The reality is NQ only hit one target. The reality is there's no denying that this is a coin flip. That's how you have to look at this report. It really is a coin flip. Um, you have to make a decision whether or not you're interested in risking over $200 in your account to trade it. Now, I will trade it in my Top Step account. That's what I'm willing to do. Our cash account, I reserve trading in our cash account for trading the best of the best. This does not qualify as the best of the best. That's the reality. It's not the best of the best. A coin toss is not the best of the best. It's a breakout, and I would trigger it. Give me a second. I would trigger it on gold. So I'm going to right click the chart, click on strategies, double click JOBB, and then go to activate 8/29/59. The bracket is 10. Two positions, and I've got targets. And targets are up to you. You can do between 6 and 18, I think is reasonable for gold. I think the stop between 10 and 12 is reasonable on gold. I'm going to go with a 10 stop. My bracket is 10, and I've got targets anywhere between 6 and 20. And I'm definitely going to use my favorite feature in the software, target one stop move. It moves my stop if my first target gets hit to break even, minus or plus wherever I want it to move. And then I'm going to label the trade gold. Okay. That's my gold breakout. I'm going to save a template, Empire, gold, GC, and I'll date it today. And I'm going to set my time on 0 to look at the width of my brackets. Put everything on sim. I don't want to accidentally trigger myself into a trade, right? That was our problem yesterday with Adobe. The worry was the markets were so volatile, there was a possibility of getting an early fill before the news came out. That was the challenge in trading Adobe's earnings yesterday for everyone that was there. And we had the same issue with Broadcom and Costco the week before. In fact, maybe it was, I think they were both extreme volatility days. That's the truth. Extreme volatility. We had situations like that a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, with Intel earnings. And we actually didn't trade Intel earnings one quarter because the market was so volatile after the close. It's pretty unusual. Yesterday, I think that was all helped along by the PPI report. So right now, our Top Step account is struggling, and it's partly because I've just been trading a little bit more of the 50/50 reports. So it's down about $330. It's not a disaster. Certainly, it's not in a disaster. But it could be better. It could be better. And I have not been doing any discretionary trading in that account this week. I have not had time to discretionary trade. If you're a very busy person, then trading the way that we trade is the fantastic way to trade, right? Why? Because you can schedule your trades. What could be better? Now, we did make a change to today's schedule. There is no capacity utilization. Just watching it. No trade room. Okay. We'll be back. I'll be back. Um, for preliminary University of Michigan. All right. No capacity utilization. That's an event that is not tradable these days. Oh, it might have a move, but it has been, we couldn't come up with anything worthwhile. And it's been that way for months. Nopa Crush is our final event of the week at 11:30. And then 9:30 for preliminary University of Michigan. Both of those are events that I like to trade. So I'm watching the ES. Um, I'm just watching the ES on my regular sim account. I'm not trading it. If I were going to trade the ES, I'm watching bonds also. I want to get my face out of the way because it's more important to see the moves than my good looking face. Let's put this somewhere where it won't annoy us. Um, Bonds can move on a Fed report, as can the ES or the NQ, right? Euro, a lot of instruments could move. A lot of instruments could move. The gold setup, one more time for next over there, no problem. Using a breakout trade, everyone. Triggering the trade at 829.59, okay? I'm using a bracket of 10. Position size 1 is a 1. That means one contract for the first target. Position size 2 is a 1. That means one contract for position 2. And then no one should use the same targets as I'm using. Targets are a range. Anywhere between 6 and 18 is fine, 6 and 20 for this trade. Target 1 stop move. I like to use that feature if my first target gets hit. I can type in BE -2 and my stop will automatically move to break even -2. And my stop is 10. Then I just go way down. Everything else is a default. Nothing else gets messed around with. For you all, make sure that your account warnings are turned off. I'm testing the new software for today's webinar. Okay. For today's webinar. In fact, we need that link. And then I labeled the trade gold. Why do I label the trade gold? I label it so that up when it's on the control panel, if for any reason I have multiple setups and I need to cancel this trade, it's labeled gold. So if I have more than one setup, I can cancel the trade. Okay. Let me see if I can find that link for us. Come to our webinar today. All right. Here's the link It's 1 o'clock. It's going to be all about the new features in the software. Nice new version coming out. Here's the link. Sander, you could use MGC. You know, I want to be totally upfront. We don't test MGC. The moves are not exact, but in general, you know, you could use a little bit bigger stop. You can always double your stop on MGC. I don't have a problem using MGC for breakouts. People use them a lot. I think that we do see more liquidity issues with the MGC than we do with regular gold. Going to go to our Time Is website to check our sync. And my sync is off today. I'm ahead. So I'm going to use our free tool, Dimension 4, or I'm going to click Now button. I notice that the synchronized line changes. That tells me I'm syncing my computer to the server that's listed in this area. I happen to be syncing to France today. Anywhere in the world, there's dozens and dozens of servers that keep time that you can sync to. And then I go back to Time Is. I do the whole thing again, and it put me in sync. That's what Dimension 4 does. Or Catherine's Time Sync. Now, we give away those time sync programs for free in our trade room. If you go to the room drive and click on it, you will see D4 Time, which is a free program, or PT Sync. And those are the sync programs that you can use to get your computer in sync. So we're just watching an ES setup, right? If I were going to trade the ES, if I were going to trade it as a breakout, I would trigger the same time as gold, 829. And I'm not recommending the ES. We have not tested it for this report. I do believe it will move, but this is completely untested. You know, if you want to test, use MES if you're going to use real money. Remember, this is a coin toss. This is a coin toss. This is not a big winner month after month after month. Many times it doesn't trade by itself. It's a coin toss. And it's trading with trade balance today. So bracket of 6, targets of 5 and 10, stop of 8, 2 points. Bracket of 6, definitely the target stop move, break even, -1. Strictly a test, strictly a test. But the label becomes important. ES, ES, and I'll show you why. I'll save my little template, Empire, ES, today's date. And then I do the same thing. I want to see how wide those brackets are so I can manage the trade if I have to. Now, see how I can tell which trade I'm dealing with because they're labeled. And I want it wider so I have room. And then when you set the time to 0 and click the enabled button, the software thinks the time has passed for the trade. So of course it will trigger the brackets. It'll act as if time has passed. That's how you test your brackets. So I put my time back And now we can do a test of the ES, okay? Looking at April, Empire State back in April. I believe it traded by itself way back in April. That was a gorgeous move in April. Gorgeous move. So there's some history of this report moving. That's why I'm willing to trade it in my prop account. In the prop account, you got to take your prop account very seriously. I take it very seriously. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of people watching us on YouTube. How about a like? Nobody ever gives us a like on YouTube, or I don't see them. It might be that I'm not seeing those likes. Somebody press the like button and type in that you pressed it so I can determine if I have a YouTube issue with what I'm seeing in the chat. If someone would be kind enough, see a sneaky way to get people to press the like button. That's all this is. All right, let's look at one more. No, we already looked at September. We looked at 4 of them. And there's been some decent moves. Yeah, so I don't see the likes, Chantal. That's the issue. I'm not seeing them. I should get some kind of a stipend for Duncan, or maybe Ben Affleck will come over and drink some Duncan with me. I love Duncan. I drink coffee all day long. And by the way, I just want to make an announcement. I'm always in this shirt. I own 5 of these shirts. I do not wear the same shirt every day. All right. So everybody understands what we got going on here. We've got a bracket of 10 on gold. I've got a small bracket on the ES in SIM. All right. Watching bonds on the right, ZN 624. I've got the news off to the side. We've got the elephant in the room today is trade balance. And New York Empire State, they're expecting -7. The Fed, the Fed's in a quandary now, especially with yesterday's PPI. They're talking rate raises. I think that the financial media has done a disservice. Gee, what a surprise. By talking about rate cuts way before there was a real possibility that rate cuts were going to be should have been a meaningful part of the conversation. I don't think that rate cuts should have been a meaningful part of the conversation. That's what I believe. When they started almost a year ago talking about rate cuts, I don't think we're going to see rate cuts for quite some time. Inflation. And secondly, let's get back to that 2% number. That was a number that the Fed, Powell probably tosses and turns at night, wishing he said 3% or 3.5% as a level they want to achieve. It's not reasonable to have 2% inflation. That's under normal inflationary pressures. If you're going to have a number that you're looking for, it should be something that's attainable, that's reasonable, that makes sense. Anyway, in many ways, we don't have to worry about all that stuff. It does affect news trades, but not the way it affects discretionary traders. So we're going to have an ES breakout that I'm not even watching. And let's see if we can get a gold trade that works this morning. We'll have a bracket showing up right about now. There's our bracket. Hit the first target. Not going to do anything here. Nothing. Doing nothing on gold. Probably should shrink that target. So very, very, very interesting. Now look. I did not touch my trade. Did not touch it. Hit the first target, pulled back, made a small profit, $60, because my first target was 8, and I moved my stop to break even -2, right? Or what might have been -1. Let's look. First, what was the news? Why did the market move the way it did? Do we have any idea? Let's see. Wow. We should have had a much bigger news move to the downside because it was -20. We got extremely lucky that we got a burst to the upside. Let me take it back. Let's start over. -20. It should have been a burst to the upside. Negative news normally years ago used to move gold to the upside. Nowadays, we don't get that typical follow through that we used to get years ago. We got it enough today to hit our first target, and then gold changed direction. Now you noticed, we'll watch the video, the ES did not have a positive trade. Okay, we'll watch the video. So everybody out there does different things. Let's just go over what we did that really counted. Our prop account made a profit of $60. We hit our first target. We used the feature target 1 stop move, and it protected the first target. Sometimes it will cost you hitting the second target because it might pull back, take you out of the trade, but not challenge the stop, which was 10. Remember, the stop was 10. Let's make a note, 2165.50. That's how low the price got. So let me show you something. Our fill okay, we got filled long at 2168. Okay, right here, this little blue arrow. I got filled long at 2168. 2167 was my stop. Okay, price went way below our stop. It hit first target first, 8 ticks, and then it took us out 2167.80. That's how we made our money. Okay, I did not touch the trade. I just left everything in place. The ES did not work at all. Let's just look at a couple other instruments. NQ 0624. Bonds, you could see they had a little bit of a move up and a quick pullback. Not a big move there. Not dramatic. NQ just looks like a choppy mess here. Okay. Popped up, down. Now going back up. Market's moving back up. I think it looks ultimately like the market liked that news. That's what it looks like initially. And if you look at the yen, the yen, I was going to say 6J, we may not have rolled over yet on the yen. No, I don't think we have. A couple of days. We're right on the border. Did the yen roll over? Let's take a look. Very close. The yen, 6J 324. Today is rollover. So you had mixed volume on the yen. Much stronger volume on the new contract. Rollover must have been yesterday. Looks like it might have been yesterday. 6-6 is the contract. Just looking to see if there were decent moves. You had a nice pop up. Okay. So that seems to be the way the market moved on this news, a pop up and then a reversal. The euro did the same thing. Bonds did the same thing. Let's take a look at the video. All right. Now, look, folks, what's the most important thing that we really covered here? And especially for all of our friends that are watching on YouTube. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube, and Derek, I see that you're on YouTube. I do believe that you are able to join us in the trade room because you're on our trial, aren't you? You can come into the trade room if you want to. Anyway, make a long story short, if you're watching on YouTube, www.gotrade24, gotrade2024.com and join up with us. www.gotrade2024 and join up with us if you're watching on YouTube. All right? And thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Let's watch this video. Let me render it. Gold is the best instrument for this news, in my opinion. It's years of watching this report. There are times when gold can give us lots of fits, right? We all know it. Gold can sometimes whip around and drive us crazy, but when it's smooth, there's nothing like a smooth gold trade. Now, today was not a smooth gold trade, but we're not crying in the corner. We used our software to protect our profit. Okay? We used our software to protect our profit. As a reminder, I had a 10 tick bracket, targets of 8 and 15-ish, and a stop of 10. And if my first target got hit, the software moved the stop to break even -2, I believe it was, automatically. Watch the left side, and you'll see how the trade worked for a target 1 profit. And that's fine. You're not always going to get 100%. It pushed up, hit the target, and I didn't move my stop. You see the stop moved automatically to a safer position. And it's nobody's fault that gold pulled back. And that's life. That's how trading goes. Sometimes you get a choppy response. It never got to our second target. It didn't get there. And then look, it pulls back, boom. It would have stopped us out. Now, watch the ES. ES used a small bracket of 6. Only used the bracket of 6. Okay? Larry made real money. ZLH made real money. Sander on Sim. Nothing wrong with trading this report on Sim. It's a coin toss. The ES looks like it went 7 ticks and just no follow through whatsoever. None. No follow through. You can't save a trade when it does that. You can't save it. Nothing you can do. But remember, what did I say before the ES? I said, don't trade the ES. I'm just testing it. I haven't looked at it. That's what I said. Pay attention with risk. I'm always discussing risk. Okay? Always discussing risk. I want to thank everybody for watching us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you know what our next stream is going to be for next week. We stream once a week for free. Sometimes we do a test stream and there'll be some secret extra streams. So thank you very much for watching on YouTube. Hit the like button on your way out. And I'll see everybody on YouTube next week. Now, everybody else in the room, we updated the schedule. No capacity utilization.